I think we can start. Good morning for people in the United States and Canada. Good afternoon for people in Europe. Good evening for people in Asia, in India, in Indonesia. So it's our live Q&A session on fasting. So today we'll continue talking about fasting, intermittent fasting, short-term fasting, extended fasting, different benefits of fasting, how to fast efficiently, when to stop, what to do with hunger, and so on. So that's the plan for today. And as usual, please be as active as possible. Ask your questions. If I don't answer your question, please double click, clarify your question, so I'll answer your question in the best possible details. And while we're waiting for other people, I would like to briefly advertise that since the previous session that we had 2 weeks ago, we had I posted a blog on electrolytes for fasting, for extended fasting. So check it out. It's on my website, fasting.center. So it's I try to sum up everything I know in the short possible term form about electrolytes needed for fasting. So during fasting, during non-fasting days, we get electrolytes from food, but during fasting, we need to supplement them. And electrolytes make fasting much easier. So that is that. Okay, I see several people already here. So I think we can start. And I would like to start with the question that I already asked before the session. So the first question is from Natalia Levitt 1336. How do you deal with constant hunger? It's a great question. It's a very practical question, and it's heavily misunderstood topic altogether in fasting. A lot of people think that fasting is all about motivation, but it's not only motivation. It's also preparation, execution. And similar to hunger, it's not kind of like if you practice your willpower and stay away from food. There are several things that you can do to control hunger in a much more efficient way. So, and usually I focus on 3 things. One is environment, another one is attention, and the last one is timing. When you talk about environment, think about how you stay away from food in any possible shape or form. Stay away from kitchen, stay away from restaurants, stay away from meals with your kids, family, friends. Stay away from, don't look at the pictures of food. Don't watch videos, YouTube videos or Netflix videos on food. Stay away from food senses, food smell, because like during fasting, all our senses sharpen up, and the food sense it's become much easier detectable. So try to avoid all those triggers like that might impact your food, but that might impact your hunger. So the second one is attention. Divert your attention as soon as you feel like as soon as you start thinking about fasting. I don't know, sorry, about food. So as soon as you have a thought about food, try to actively divert it. So think about just like your previous vacations or future vacations, your plans for the weekend, your work, your project, and so on. So just intentionally divert that attention. And I would like to say that ideally, before the fast itself, you put a long list of things you'd like to accomplish during the fast. So it can be as simple as cleaning up your apartment or house or backyard, or something ambitious, like one big ambitious project, new skill, maybe new language to learn. And during the fast, you go through that list and try to accomplish as much as possible. It will serve 2 purposes. One thing is that it will help you to accomplish something cool, right? So you'll take advantage of that free time, spare time that you have during fasting. On the other side, it pushes your fast in the background, and it will make your fast much easier. So, and the last one is timing. So hunger waves comes and go. Usually they last for about 15-30 minutes. And the hunger is usually the highest during your regular meal times. So for example, if your dinner from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., expect your hunger will be higher during the time. That being said, think about how you can get through those period of time. So think about that. Maybe you'll drink hot water with salt. Maybe you'll get a hot shower or hot bath, right? Maybe you'll take a walk. Something that will distract you during those 15-30 minutes. That will play a critical big role just in get through that period of hunger. So basically just think about how you can control your environment on one side and at the same time just divert your attention from food thoughts to something else. And also I'd like to say that it's usually with practice over time, it becomes easier to get through that hunger waves. So it just is a matter of practice. So I hope it helps, but it's thank you for the questions, probably the most practical question. So most people think, okay, I know I clearly get the benefits of fasting. Sounds good, sounds great, but okay, but if I have that hunger, what should I do? Okay, so moving to the next question. The next question is, why is my sleep worse during fasting? Okay, so great question, and sleep is definitely get negative impact during fasting. So what's happening during fasting? Fasting itself is a stress for the body, so cortisol goes up. It means it's more difficult to get asleep as well as stay asleep. And on the top of that, if you have blood sugar fluctuations or electrolyte imbalance, they'll have negative impact on the sleep. And by the way, so just during fasting, all your system get more sensitive to any stimulants. So if you get some coffee at the second half of the day, it will have negative impact on the sleep too. So as you can see, all together, expect that your sleep will get worse during fasting. So what you can do about that? So first of all, just be deliberate. Control your environment, control your room, make sure it's dark, quiet, cool room, so just you'll have the best sleep possible. And on the other side, try to proactively relax. So it can be meditation, yoga, deep breathing, maybe some time of relaxation. So you know that during the fast, your sleep will get deteriorated. So how you can cool down yourself, how you can relax yourself, so just you'll get the best possible sleep. And by the way, if your sleep is not getting any better, so just it's if you have terrible sleep during the fast, so just it's for several days, like 3-4 days, it means something is off. So just it's something that's maybe it's probably stress or maybe something else. And again, similar to that what we discussed about hunger, it's a similar situation with sleep. Over time, it's getting easier and easier to sleep. So, for example, during my last 10-day sleep, I can finally figure out a way how to relax. So just it was the best sleep ever. So you can take a look at my HRV as well as sleep scores at the website. It's pretty cool. So expect that your sleep will be worse and find a way how we can proactively address it. So you'll have good sleep. Okay, I hope I answered your question. So moving on, so now we're going to that another question from Natalia. What to do if blood sugar drops during the fast? So blood sugar is expected to drop during the fast. So if the typical range for blood sugar in fasting state, it's in the morning, if during regular days, about 900, 100 range. And during extended fast, it goes down to 60-70 range. So it's expected, it's normal. And this is kind of how it works, which is the body switching from glucose to ketones for fuel. So usually there are some significant fluctuations in the beginning of the fast. And as soon as you hit day 4, this is when the hunger goes down, energy stabilizes, mental clarity comes back. So everything becomes much more predictable. So expect that the blood glucose go down from 100 range to 60-70. And at the same time, so just it might dip further. Like in my case, in the previous fast, it was it went down up to 41. So it's not ideal. It's probably like it's body's under stress, but at the same time, so just it might happen. And I read the literature, so just what it shows is like the lowest I've seen is about low 40s. So I actually like found some mentioning about low 30s during extended fast. So this is how bodies work. So just the blood sugar goes down during extended fasts. Okay, so I see some other questions. Okay, bam, bam, bam. Can I have, so the question from Vlad_GPEG007. Can I have coffee while fasting? Black is fine, but does adding milk break the fast or not? Okay, technically, so let's like summarize like what water fasting means. And a lot of people think it's like just water. In reality, it's not only water. In reality, it's like water, electrolytes, definitely salt. Black tea is okay. Tea, black coffee is okay. Tea is okay as long as you don't have any calories. You're good. So black coffee is fine, totally fine. Adding milk, it means you're adding additional calories, and it depends how much is that. If it's just like splash 5 calories, it's okay, it's normal, right? It will not definitely spike insulin because milk doesn't. It's not sugar, but it will definitely impact your overall blood sugar content since it has fat. And I would like to go back to the previous point is that, like, again, during fasting, the body has a lot of, the body becomes much more sensitive to any stimulants. So it's much more sensitive to coffee. It's much more sensitive to black tea. Be careful with that. So it will negatively impact your tea. It will impact your sleep. So ideally, you'll stay away from coffee altogether. But I noticed from my experience is like coffee helps a little bit like to suppress hunger at the same time to give some like energy boost. So I hope you answer your question. Okay, I see another question from Ragalik938. How can you increase your intermittent fasting window? Okay, thank you for the question. So just now we're going, since like we just spoke like about extended fasting, now we're going to intermittent fasting. On intermittent fasting, I would like to highlight several rules, like one rule or several ideas that might help you like to make your extended fasting, intermittent fasting window sustainable. First, start with whatever fasting window is you find works best for you, and stick to that. Get used to that. Get used to that to your schedule. And then when you think about extended, it will be like step number 2. So how to extend? Usually like people fast overnight, so just like the idea just to have your breakfast later in the day, as well at the same time to have your dinner a little bit earlier. So having breakfast later is just like, from my experience, is quite simple. You just like work out in the morning. Actually, like working out in the morning has huge, phenomenal, positive impact on the body. So you'll basically wake up, you'll have more energy during the day, you have a stronger metabolism during the day, and so on. At the same time, like working out late in the day will have negative impact on the sleep. So to expand the window, so you get your morning tea, coffee, whatever you're getting, just work out, and so you're not in during that workout, right? And usually during like an hour after workout, you're not hungry. So just you'll have additional 2 hours. So this is like my approach to push that window in the morning to like 10 a.m. At the same time, in the evening, one fundamental thing is that the earlier you have your dinner, the better it will be. It will be better for your sleep. So if you have probably you've seen that Brian Johnson blog, when he's saying that his best sleep is when he gets his last meal at 11 a.m. So basically, if he goes to sleep at 9 p.m., so if he eats like 10 hours before his sleep, this is the best sleep possible. So, and it's a little bit extreme from my perspective. It's not sustainable. It's not realistic. But so the idea, just like the earlier you have your dinner, the better for you. And with that in mind, think about just how you can push it and experiment and see whether you have better sleep. You will have better sleep, most probably, right? So, and this is kind of the way, like more like philosophical way, how to push your dinner as early as possible. So I experimented. I got my dinner up to like 3 a.m. 3 p.m. and it was fine. It was good. When I'm going like to 2 p.m. or 1 p.m., I'm still like getting a little bit hungry late in the day. So that's my approach. Expand your morning time, expanding your morning fasting window as well as like expand your evening, and then you can you shorten up your feeding window to reasonable like 8 hours. Okay, so let's go to another question. So just like I hope I don't miss anything. Okay, so I see another question from Mr. Andrstri. Okay, what's your take on dry fasting? Oh, it's a great question. So dry fasting itself, it means like no food and no food, no calorie, and no water. So, and what I see is that the fundamental idea about the claimed fundamental idea behind dry fasting is accelerating fasting benefits. So, what I see in reality is that it brings low blood volume, since you don't have that water in the body. So this is like your blood volume goes down. So it means like it's dizziness, for example, like it's like brain fog. So the other one is hypoglycemia. So just your blood sugar goes down, and it also can bring like called hypertonicity. So just when your blood become way too concentrated. So all that has like multiple negative effects on the body, and usually people feel quite bad after like 24-48 hours of dry fasting. And at the same time, the science is not supporting that dry fasting means accelerating fasting benefits. So actually, like, I would like to say, like all together, like fasting science is like, though it's picking up, it's just still a long way to go to prove every single benefit in the like clinical environment. So in dry fasting specifically, it's like barely understood topic. So my overall take is just like I would stay away from dry fasting. If you want to focus on something, go with the just regular water fasting. So, but if you have some experience in dry fasting, please share that. It's definitely, I'm trying to learn as much as possible from everyone. Okay, so let's go to another question. So just I see a question from Michael Galvin, 1024. Mr. Matthew Phillips, head of neurology department, recommends for cancer water fast for 5 to 7 days, once per month, and modify keto for rest of the month. What do you think? So I would like to say, I think it's a great idea. I would kind of like a little bit question like whether it's like fasting once a month it's sustainable if your willpower, if your schedule, if your preparation, execution allows you to do that. It's definitely a great idea. And research shows that extended fasting has positive impact on chemo, on the cell altogether, like as well as like to help like to get rid of like chemotherapy effects, post chemotherapy effects. So all those effects, all those things are just like very positive. But again, so just, and I'm a great believer for fasting altogether. It's like overall cleanse for the body on the macro level, micro level, cell level, like on the organelle levels, and it's, I'm here like for the I'm having this session for a reason, right? So I'm a big believer of fasting, but at the same time, just like it's the idea just to make it sustainable. So if you can do that, if you can fast for 5-7 days a month, it's great, phenomenal. What I see, like it's probably like the most reasonable schedule is like probably like have this like, let's say 7-10 day fast once a year, maybe like once every 6 months. But I totally agree with Dr. Matthew Phillips. So and this research actually, like, it's one of the benefits of the extended fasting on my website is effect on cancer. So this research is still like emergent phase, but it's definitely speeding up. Thank you for your question. Okay, so just Michael Galvin has a follow-up. He's doing real trials with glioblastoma and some other cancer, and also, yeah, I've seen those. I've seen a lot of research on this topic, so it's picking up. So okay, yeah, okay, he's in New Zealand. Okay, I believe Michael, you're part of that one of the fasting groups, right? So this is like you are the one who's fasting on a regular basis, 5-7 days. Thank you for being a part of the group, and thank you for providing your valuable feedback. Okay, moving on. So the next question is from Mark L-V3D. Do things like chewing gum or taking vitamin count as breaking fast? So there is like two ways of looking at the situation. So like one is practical way, and the second is more like scientific way. So let's start with scientific way because it's simpler, right? So anything that creates any metabolic reaction in your body break fast. So metabolic reaction, it means like, for example, like if you chewing gums, or what else you ask, like chewing gums or taking vitamins, if it increases something in your body, it means it's breaking the fast. In case of chewing gum, it might increase insulin. So it means it might have like that negative impact of the fast. And insulin is the gatekeeper for all the changes that we have in the body. So that was like scientific way to answer the question. In practical terms, it's probably the effect is negligible. Probably it's not that significant. So it's, but at the same time, it will make your fast much more sustainable. So if you find this, it helps, I would definitely like say, yeah, definitely go with that, and go with your chewing gums. Some people, by the way, so just drink like 0 sugar Coke, for example, right? So different like other sweeteners like that help them to reduce hunger. It's totally fine. So technically, maybe like scientifically, it's you're breaking the fast, but in practical terms, and especially if you make this like cost-benefit analysis of chewing gums, probably it's like you're totally fine. So from that perspective. Okay, so let's, okay, I would like to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so I see another question is, how much weight is regained after an extended fast? Okay, it's one of the heavily misunderstood topics in the fasting altogether. People fast and lose a lot of weight in the beginning of the fast, and then they regain a lot of weight when they break the fast. And the reason is quite simple. In the beginning of the fast, you lose a lot of lean mass. When you say lean mass, it means glycogen, water, gut content, muscle protein. All that goes down. It's usually 5-7 pounds. It's quite significant. So just people really happy. The first 3 days, they lose like, let's say like 7-8 pounds. But most of that is lean mass. But all that lean mass comes back during refeeding. So as soon as you break the fast, so glycogen goes back. And usually we have about 1 pound of glycogen, about like 2,000 calories in our body, in liver and muscles. It will come back. 1 gram of glycogen binds 3 grams of water. So it means you'll get additional 3 pounds of water, like simply like by recovering your glycogen, gut content. Usually we have about, a healthy individual have about like 0.8 to 1% of all body weight as a gut content. As soon as you start eating, that food will come back, so you will regain that weight. So, and then you'll start regaining muscle protein. Usually during the fast, muscle protein goes down, and during the refeeding, you'll get it back. So expect that you'll lose a lot of weight in the beginning of the fast, and then you'll regain that lean mass back. From my experience, for the last 10-day fast, I lost 15 pounds, and only 5 pounds was body fat. 10 pounds was lean mass. And what happened after the fast? I regained all those 10 pounds. So 10 pounds regain after the fast. So the net loss is body fat, about 5 pounds. And actually it's quite a lot, like to lose 5 pounds of body fat. So don't be discouraged about gaining that weight in the beginning, at the beginning of your refeeding process. It's a part of the process. Okay, so moving to the next question from Stefan Martinuk-L1Z. How do you sleep while fasting? Does the quality of sleep change? Yeah, I believe like we discussed this topic a little bit earlier. During fasting, cortisol goes up. Cortisol, it means we stay more alert. It's more difficult to get asleep. It's more difficult to stay asleep. So, and from my experience, like what I found that works really well for me is that I'm intentionally try to relax as much as possible during my fast. Okay, like it's more like meditation, deep breathing, and so on. It heavily reduced my like mental stress and helped me with my sleep. Actually, during my last 10-day sleep, during my last 10-day fast, I have the best sleep ever. So this was like, okay, it's pretty cool. But it's a concern. So just like keep that in mind and be very proactive in terms of fixing your, setting your sleep environment in the best possible way and to relax your body. So it's one of the biggest concerns like that. It's during fasting, people don't have enough sleep. Not enough sleep means people feel tired during the day. It's everything kind of goes, energy level goes down. So just it goes down during the fast by default. It's how it works, right? But at the same time, people kind of with the lack of sleep or poor sleep, people get double hit on the energy levels. Okay, so like, okay, if you have other questions, please bring them up. So just I will be happy to answer the question. So it was one question that was asked like in a different group is about like whether should I track blood sugar, blood glucose, ketones, other things during my fast. My answer is that definitely you should. It's a great thing for two main reasons. One reason is that if you see what's happening with your glucose, if you see that what's happening with your ketones, they're going up during your fast, if you see your blood pressure stable, you get this peace of mind. So just okay, the body is working the way it's how it's supposed to work. Everything is under control. So just your body switching from glucose to burning body fat for fuel. So at the same time, so just like when you track your body weight and body fat percentage, you see the progress. So it's like, okay, so just it will reduce your mental stress. And on the other side is if you have that tracking different biomarkers like glucose, ketones, and so on will give you some information to think about what you can do, how you can change your fast moving forward. So it will help you to think that whether you need to adjust, like for your sleep environment, or maybe just you want to be more active or do something different. So for example, like during my last 10-day fast, so just I intentionally worked out. I was trying to be as active as possible during my first 3 days. And the idea was quite simple. So just I wanted to get into ketosis as soon as possible to avoid to skip that day 3, terrible day 3. And it worked out really really nicely. So just I get to like 5 millim for the ketones like on hour 56. So basically I skipped day 3 altogether. So that was pretty cool. And this is what you can use like in your personal environment, that just to think about how you can change how you can adjust your fast, how you can make it as more productive as possible. So that's why my answer is just yes, track as much as possible. It's a lot of fun. You just look at the data. I have that one huge spreadsheet with all my data, fasting data, fat, weight, fat, lean mass, bone mass, ketones, glucose, sleep. So just everything in one place. So just I'm looking at the data like on a daily basis, like during my fast. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, so I see another question from Mark L-V3D. What's more effective, intermittent fasting or calorie deficit? It's a great question, and I would like to say like it's like those two different things. Intermittent fasting is eating pattern. So basically, you're giving your time, you're giving your body enough time to recover during the day. So if you follow typical 16/8 intermittent fasting schedule, so that means like you have 16 hours. Your body will have 16 hours to digest all the food, recover, regenerate yourself, and kind of get ready for the day, right? So, and at the same time, calorie deficit is like this is the way how you can lose weight. So actually, to some degree, they go together. So just like to lose weight, you need to have calorie deficit on one side, and you need to have low insulin on the other side. So, and low insulin you can get it through that through the fasting window. So they two different things, and actually, like most people can put them together, thinking, okay, so just I'll follow IF and I'll lose weight. No, it's not how it works. So just you need to follow IF, whatever window you pick up. At the same time, just you need to be in calorie deficit. So think about that from that perspective. Okay, I hope it was helpful. I hope it just answered your question. But it's a great question. So, and it's most people think that just like IF means body weight, but in reality, it's like it's only a part of that equation. Okay, so I see another question. So from Vlad_JPEG007, what the difference between 3-day and 7-day fast? Is there any extra benefit after first 72 hours? Yeah, so just yes, there's maybe let's focus on the benefits. That's a lot of people, most of the people fast for 3 days. And actually, like in the fasting group on Reddit, I did the research. I asked like, okay, I did a poll, like asking like, what's your most popular fast, and the highest, most popular is 3-day fast. So it's kind of like it's a normal distribution, right? So usually like 3-day fast is phenomenal for multiple reasons. So just like you give your body, if your digestive system rest. So you're not in it for 72 hours. It means like 72 hours no food. The digestive system has time to heal itself. So it's great for inflammation, to lower inflammation. So inflammation goes down. It's great for the blood sugar and glucose regulation. It's great for the autophagy. So just as you know, like autophagy peaks about like hour 72. So it's a lot of benefits. Though it's you get all those benefits in incremental way just after those 3 days. And this is where the trick is that after you fast for 72 hours, so basically you switch your body from glucose to ketones. And now your body is much easier to fast during the time, right? So just kind of like you did the switch, you've done your switch, so it's great, right? So your benefits kind of like start subsiding. So just as like marginal benefits become lower. On the other side, it's much easier to fast. So, and basically after 72 hours, you get all those benefits in a deeper form, deeper autophagy, deeper low inflammation. Basically now just your digestive system have more time to rest and heal itself and so on. So I found it's like actually my personal take on 3-day fast is it's kind of like I feel bad, like just like I did after 3 days of fasting, I did all that heavy lifting, switching from glucose to burning fat for fuel, and then I just like stop fasting. Like all the hard work is done, and just like I'm giving up everything, all other benefits. So I'm just usually my typical mode is either I do intermittent fasting on a daily basis, either clean AF or dirty AF. It means like I'm adding some milk to my coffee, or I'm doing like a standard fast, like once a year, for example. Okay, so we've been live for for the 35 minutes. It's all great questions. So just maybe we'll answer several more questions. And so I see another question from Mark L-V3D. How much of the actual fast loss do you think comes from those hormonal effects versus simply eating fewer calories during a shorter window? Okay, so I think the question is about intermittent fasting, right? So to eat less, so just to consume less calories, you can basically do it in several ways. So just it's shorten the windows, helps to reduce that shortening feeding window. It will reduce the number of calories you can consume. It's like that way. Actually, there are some other ways to reduce number of calories. So just it can be you restrict your diet to some types of foods. It's another way, right? So it maybe some you eat more salads, more soups, and so on. But the point is that to to lose weight, you need calorie deficit. No matter what, you need calorie deficit. And it's one part of the equation. The second is you need low IF. IF is that gatekeeper to start burning fat. When you have high insulin, insulin. When you have that high insulin, it's your body cannot unlock that body fat. So you need to low insulin. So to low insulin, it's if it's normal, healthy body, so you need to lower glucose. So that's why that IF window, significant IF windows, that's like 14, 16 hours really help. Insulin goes down and the body goes to tapping into that body fat. So it's two parts of the equation. So just you can say, okay, so just I do IF and expect weight. No, it's not how it works, right? Or okay, I'll go to calorie deficit and expect that I'll lose weight. No, you might feel terrible. You might just feel like disastrous, but still, and being in calorie deficit and still not lose body fat. So this would happen when people snack through the entire day and late night, right? So they in calorie deficit, they don't have enough energy, but at the same time, the body cannot unlock that energy from body fat. This is the biggest complication. So this is like when you think about body fat, about weight loss, is think about those two elements. Okay, so what else? I hope I didn't miss any question. Chewing gums, okay. Blood sugar drops, how do you okay any other questions we would like to talk about, we want to answer, please bring them up. So just it's like we will cover them in this session. Okay, so if there are no other questions, so just I would like to kind of highlight a couple of things that if you have any questions, I'm on Reddit or I'm on Facebook. Take a look, and welcome to join our fasting group. I put a link in the description, and definitely I'll put a link to my website, fasting.center, where I can basically just share everything I know about fasting, my results, fasting benefits, fasting guide, as well as where we have, I recently added extended fasting weight loss calculator. So everything will be there. And if you have any specific questions, anything you would like to add, please bring them up and we'll cover them in one of the next sessions. Okay, if nothing else, it was a pleasure seeing you this morning, this afternoon, this evening. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. And for people in Asia, just have a great night. Have a great night's sleep. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.